Hello, folks. I am back, and I'm here to continue my impressions about the Springfield Armory Prodigy. Earlier, I was able to shoot the Prodigy. It was the 4-inch model from a friend of mine, Christian. I really am grateful that he allowed me to shoot his brand new Prodigy. And I just want to give you further impressions not from what I've been seeing on the range, because this firearm is very hot ticket right now because I'm starting to see them at the range I work at. Whether I see more of the 5-inch at the range, but I'm going to explain some of the other negatives that I've seen with the Prodigy. Let's start with this. I was doing some catching up with uh, Big Johnson Guns and Gears chats, and I haven't been able to keep up because I work on that night. By the time I get home, the chat is over, and I got to watch the his chat video, and I did not know that the Prodigy was not actually made by Springfield Armory. It's actually made from by Alpha Foxtrot, and my I heard it was I didn't know that it was either made overseas or and Big Johnson said there was a plant in Georgia, so I don't know where this firearm was made at this point. But my understanding, Springfield Armory does not make this firearm. First of all, I want to tell you one thing. I am not Springfield Armory bashing at all. I am a huge fan of Springfield Armory 1911s. They are one of my favorite 1911s for their price point. So with that said, let me get straight to the point here about this video. Now, what I've been seeing from the 5-inch, the 4-inch doesn't have as many quirks as the 5-inch. What I've been seeing on malfunctions, and these malfunctions are pretty much duplicated from some other videos I've seen on YouTube. So just want, and if you notice, this is my staccato P. So I just set this up. So that's why it looks a little funny the way it is right here. So with the staccato P, I'm going to use this as a demonstration. This is a simulation. I don't want to get in trouble like I did on my Glock 43X video, but this is a simulation of what I've been seeing on the range. So because I am a uh, range officer at the range I work at. So here's what I've been seeing. Now, YouTube, calm down. This is not a loaded firearm. This is an empty shell casing right here. And way underneath, I don't know if you can see that little red glint. That is a that is not a real firearm. That's a excuse me. That is not a real bullet or projectile. This is a snap cap. This is a red snap cap. If you can see that right in here, that is a red snap cap. So this is the type of malfunction that I've been seeing on the range with the Prodigy on the 5-inch model. I'm talking about the 5-inch model. And I set it up like that so you can understand what I'm talking about. This is the malfunction that I've been seeing, and this is one of the issues. It doesn't happen all the time. With it may happen maybe a few rounds, maybe 5 or maybe even 20 rounds. This is coming from people that I know have shot this particular firearm. So this is what's been showing up, and I've seen other YouTube videos where it's identically like this. Now, one of the other things is I was talking with a customer. He had ordered his 5-inch Prodigy, and I'm going to use this one, the C2, as an example. Mind you, YouTube, this is unloaded. And I just want you to notice what I just did just now. I pulled the slide back, and then I put the slide release back to lock the slide. Now, slow motion. Slide goes back, and then the slide release or slide lock holds the slide back. Now, I'm going to try to clear this up for you. Now, that's normal. That's typical of 1911s and 2011s. So what's the big deal? When you have in certain models that or certain ones that I've seen in this particular customers, and I want you to look at this hand particular, the right hand. Notice it's not touching the beaver tail safety. So when you pull this back, all you have to do is push your thumb up to lock the slide. Why is that a big deal? What I'm seeing is that when you pull the Prodigy's slide back, it will not go into the slide lock channel on the slide. The slide lock will not go into this the slide channel right here. Why? I don't have an answer for that, but I will tell you this. When I took a firm grip, meaning depressing the beaver tail safety right at the memory bump, and then pulled the slide back, then I was able to lock the slide. The guy that owned the Prodigy tried and tried until he pressed that beaver tail safety. He was able to lock the slide. I know that's weird. I heard of some sear issue type things going on, but that is ridiculous. The most easiest function, the most practical function that you could just do on any 1911 or any 2011. So that's one of the other quirks that I've seen with the Prodigy. I just want to say this. A lot of times we as consumers, the new hotness comes out. You see the bigger YouTubers, or what they call the really big guys that have the big channels. And what happens is they are the ones that get the firearms and they sing the praises and they say how much they love the firearm and so forth. But to the regular consumer, this doesn't always happen. The regular consumer usually has some type of issue or whatever the case may be. A lot of the bigwig YouTubers, they are also gunsmiths. They're very qualified. So what will happen is, if they see something that's an issue or whatever the case may be, they can fix it right there, then and there, and then they say the gun is still fantastic. But when you're the average shooter, the average person, the hobbyist, you might not have skills as a gunsmith. You're trying to go to the range, shoot the firearm, enjoy yourself. That's all you're trying to do. Maybe there's a little hiccup with ammo, a little bit of break-in period. But when you have situations where simple functions are not working properly, that's a QC problem, meaning a quality control problem. And things like that with firearms should not happen. This has been going on with a couple manufacturers lately, but for Springfield Armory to have this issue, this really should not have happened. So it's a quality control issue. I think if they're putting this firearm out, make sure that you have extensive testing before it goes out to market. And I understand that you want to get this product out, but you need to get these products to work properly, especially for the type of money that you're paying for. The consumer is spending all that money. And we as consumers don't want to be the guinea pigs. There's another company that used to kind of do that. I'll mention them very shortly. But you don't want these type of issues. One of the other things that people don't like the Prodigy is they don't like the, what did they call it, the Hex Dragon or Dragonfly or whatever it is. That they're not fond of the optic. Now, okay, the optic is an optic. You can take it off and replace it. But just think about it for a moment. There is, I mean, like, let's say 6 hours. 6 hour has so many different optics and so many different products. I don't think Springfield Armory is built like that, where they can go into different optics. Whether this optic was sourced out and they made an agreement with a company, I think there should have been even more testing on it. Not, and I don't think there's a problem. Well, what people are saying about it is that they are saying that the optic is not what they would like. There's not an RMR a holosun or something of that nature. So I think you need to put a little bit of a quality optic on it, but I understand that they're trying to keep the price point low. The other thing is when you get the Prodigy, you got to have optic plates ready. You have to really have optic plates out there. The problem that I believe it was Walther had with the optic plates, they weren't out there fast enough, and magazines weren't out there fast enough. So this is one of the things that I'm not saying the Prodigy had optic plate problems yet, but I haven't heard of anything from Springfield Armory about the optic plates. I'm not really qualified to tell you what is what on that. But these are some things that I'm hearing. One of the other things is you want this firearm to function properly. You don't want nothing like that. You don't want the little miscues with the slide catch on there. You don't want little tiny crappy stuff going on with your firearms. And like I said, I'm a huge, huge Springfield Armory 1911 fan. But I want, if you're going to make this type of firearm, another thing I'm disappointed at is it's not made in America. But if you're going to do something like this, make sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. I'm pretty sure Springfield Armory will revamp these, fix these up, fix the problems up, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be uh, a good firearm. I liked how it shot until the front sight, as you saw in the video, the front sight wiggled its way to the right, and my friend, when he shot it, his wiggled away to the left. That's just poor. So we need to our companies like Springfield Armory or American companies need to get on the ball. One of the other things is it's kind of funny. I mentioned this in the other video. 2011s are a big deal. I think that Springfield Armory wanted to bring it at a certain price point, and like I said, I contacted Sig and said, "Hey, Sig, you need to make a 2011 out there since Sig is down to 5 1911s. This is a new market. This is a market that's being tapped now. So at a price point that people want to have this firearm, you got to make it up to par. And that goes for Springfield Armory, SIG, or any other company. So, SIG, it's your turn. Definitely, I'm challenging you, SIG. It's your turn. I would like to see you make something at the same price point as the Prodigy and do a good job on it. Check it. Don't let us be guinea pigs. And I'm going to say this other thing is your other option outside of that would be Bull Armory. I'm trying to make up my mind whether to get a Prodigy or get a Bull Armory. Bull Armory is tested, tried, and true. So hopefully, they work the bugs out by the time I think about getting a Bull Armory by the end of the year. Hopefully they'll work that out, but we'll see. Like I said, the ball's in your court, Sig. Springfield Armory, revamp, take out the bugs. With that said, happy shooting, stay safe, #2A.